Welcome back, everyone. Matt, the graveyard has been dug. 23 people gone because of the Panthers. Give me a quick hitter on that before we jump into this week's recap, some quick hitters, and who we're picking for the week.
I just think the Panthers, we talked about that last week a little bit with the commish of like, are there any teams that like you have a deep-seated hatred for? Like the team that you like just can't get behind ever again?
Yeah.
I think the Panthers are probably going to be that for quite a few people after last week.
Yeah, 14 people eliminated, I think. And no, 19 people eliminated, and now it went from 14 undefeated to 3 undefeated, I'm pretty sure. It was it was a big change.
Absolute brutal. It was great not to watch a single second of it, but after watching a little bit of the all 22 from it, I just don't know how the Panthers have a single win this year. Like, yeah. I just absolutely top to bottom. Like, and Tyler Shough, he passed for 282 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Who is that?
That is another quarterback. That is another quarterback that they have gone to after Spencer Rattler did so terribly this entire year. He's a rookie. He's from Louisville. He's like 26 years old, 25 years old. Like, I'm not joking. Like, he's like an old rookie. It's a Brandon Whedon type. But the Saints, I mean, more than doubled the amount of yards that the Panthers had, 388 to 175 yards. If you're getting smacked by the freaking Saints, you're not a contender. You're a cross off. You can't be doing this. But then the week before that, they beat the Panthers. They beat the Packers.
Yeah, wild. That game wasn't pretty, but they beat them.
And then the week before that, they lost to the Bills by over 30 points.
Yeah, it's unreal.
So there is just this Panthers team. This is the most anyone has ever talked about the Panthers in like a single continuous strain. So they got to be absolutely loving it. But I mean, you just can't. This is going to be a team on the shit list from here on out for a lot of people.
We can definitely move on from the Panthers. Let's get into a Week 10 recap. You said the Panthers lost to the Bills by 32 weeks ago. Guess what? Bills lose horribly to the zombie Dolphins. Tell me about it.
I can't. This is, again,
30 to 13.
There was 4 games this week that were completely mind-numbing. Like, how in the world did this even happen? Even when I was getting updates on my phone of all the other games that were going on in the league, I kept looking at the Bills and Dolphins scores of like, wow, what in the world is going on in Miami? The Bills lost 30 to 13. Devon Achane rushed for 174 yards and ended this was an ending of a 7-game losing streak to the Bills. The Dolphins have not beat the Bills in 7 games. And the Bills, this is again goes back to what I've been harping on them for the entire year, going all the way to week 1 where they ended up pulling out that Ravens game. They have such a soft defense. They allow 147 rushing yards per game.
That's wild.
It's third most in the NFL, the Bills. This is a team that's supposed to be a Super Bowl contender.
They were my pick.
They're getting smacked around by the freaking Dolphins right now. They go up against a rushing attack. I mean, if they go up against a team like Indianapolis in the playoffs, I think Jonathan Taylor's going to have 200 yards against them.
Yeah, I would agree with you. They did not look good at all. The Jets pick up their second win of the year over the Browns behind Justin Fields' 54 passing yards. You heard that right, 54 passing yards. Tell me about that game.
Man, what is there to say about the game of the maybe not even game of the year, maybe the game of the decade, century, whatever you want to call it. It's just a couple turds fighting for prime position in the bowl, and I just can't even imagine how mad the Browns defense has to be to say, we were able to hold Justin Fields to 54 passing yards. Myles Garrett, this whole offseason, he was doing a holdout thing. He tweeted something about how he wanted out, whatever, from the Browns, and the Browns pretty much dug their heels and said, we're not going to trade him. And then all of a sudden, one day, he just signed one of the biggest contracts ever for a defensive end.
Yeah.
because after the reason why he made all these trade demands is that he wanted to be a part of a winning culture. Do you think he has any regrets for signing that contract extension? Now he's cashing a lot of checks here with a lot of big money. He's got generational wealth. Please don't forget that. But there's got to be a part of you that's like, did I actually have any values? Did I actually stand up for anything? Because I just lost to the frickin' Jets.
Yeah. Hey, money talks to a lot of these guys, and I get it. It is life-changing money, but as a competitor, you would think he would be like, this sucks. But who knows? I don't know. Like you said, he's getting paid a big, fat check. We don't need to talk about the Saints over the Panthers anymore. We already talked about that. Davis Mills leads the Texans to a massive comeback victory over the Jags. Tell me about that one.
Davis Mills,
sorry about that.
It's, you know what? He's listening, so he's not going to be happy. But Davis Mills, if you ever get a chance, he's the closest human representation to a giraffe. Incredible neck on that man. He's been with the Browns for quite a few years now, and he was their starter before C.J. Stroud. And you'd always think, well, kind of awkward to have the old flame still on the team, but nevertheless, he exists here. They erased a 19-point fourth-quarter deficit to beat the Jaguars. Mills passed for nearly 300 yards and had 3 total touchdowns, including a rushing touchdown right at the end to beat the Jags. There was a lot of people that were pretty high on the Jags to start the season. And there was a lot of people that were thinking the Jags could be a sneaky team that could maybe have a leapfrog over the Texans. And obviously the Colts have been doing really well this year, so maybe the Jaguars could slide in a little bit. The Liam Cohen effect, whatever. It was a complete collapse from the Jaguars offense and defense. Absolutely pathetic. That Jags offense has gotten just ripped to shreds. Jacoby Myers just got traded there. I'm sure he's absolutely happy to see that Travis Hunter's done for the entire year.
Yep.
Brian Thomas Jr. is injured. Travis Etienne can't run the ball to save his life. And I believe Trevor Lawrence had about 155 yards passing in that entire game. He's got to be just thrilled to be there instead of the Raiders.
Wow. Week
Absolutely
10,
pathetic.
Week 10 of the NFL. Did you ever think our recap would consist of the Jets over the Browns, Texans over the Jags, Saints, Pats, and Bills getting blown out?
No, man.
That's crazy.
But we're so far into this season, and always when I think, okay, I feel like I've got a handle on 3/4 of the teams that are in the NFL. I feel like I have enough of a sample size. I can look at statistics. I can look at trends. I can look at patterns. I can read the intelligent, exceptional analysis that so many different sites do. And the Bills lose 30-13 to the Dolphins, and it all goes down the drain, man. All goes down the drain.
We know nothing. And the person who is still in, Trevor won last week. He's not here tonight. As you can tell, he is not chiming in. He is currently doing something. We miss you, Trev. Let's get into some quick hitters. Let's talk about the MVP race. I think that's going to be our quick hitters tonight. Drake Maye, Matthew Stafford, Jonathan Taylor. Give me the numbers and give me the cases that they make to potentially be the MVP this year, Matt.
So Drake Maye and Matt Stafford are the top guys right now. They're plus 300 to win MVP, and Jonathan Taylor's plus 500. I'm going to go through Jonathan Taylor's first because I'm just going to tell you that plus 500 might as well be plus 50,000 because there's no way in this world they're going to give that award to Jonathan Taylor unless he develops an arm that can throw and can become quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts. But
I would agree. Before you keep going, when was the last MVP running back? Do you know? Was it Adrian Peterson?
It was Adrian Peterson, yeah.
Okay. What year was that? Was that
04?
That's
like 2010.
Oh, 2010. Okay.
Yeah,
Keep going. Yeah, it doesn't happen often. No, they haven't handed out an MVP to a running back in a long time.
Well, they've pretty much gamed the system where they have offensive player of the year, and that usually goes to a skill player. It usually goes to a wide receiver or a running back.
Got you.
The MVP is like a quarterback award. They're not going to give it to anyone else unless, like I said, there is somebody who is setting not just a record, but just blowing a record out of the absolute water. Saquon did not win MVP last year. And in fact, I think he was fourth in MVP voting. And he had one of the best years a running back has ever had in even the modern era. Like, it was close to that Adrian Peterson season when he won MVP. So Jonathan Taylor, they won their Germany game with a win over the Falcons in overtime. I was playing against Jonathan Taylor in fantasy football, and hey, Doug, he was texting me at 10:30 in the morning, bragging, telling me about how great his team was. I ended up winning still. So his player scored 50 points, almost half of his entire points, and I still ended up winning. So
yes,
suck
sir.
it, Doug. He's so old he doesn't know what podcasts are, so I'm not too worried about him hearing it.
He didn't listen to your 10 Commandments.
No, he didn't. He never listens to that. But Jonathan Taylor in that game rushed for 244 yards and 3 touchdowns. So just this year, and these are the stats that he is at the tippity top of. He has 189 carries for almost 1,200 rushing yards and 15 rushing touchdowns through 10 weeks.
It's pretty good.
10 weeks, that's pretty damn good. Again, unless he pretty much doubles that production, he's not going to win MVP. So I'm going to give some betting advice, even though I probably shouldn't. Don't bet on Jonathan Taylor to win.
Copy
this
that.
is going to come down to a Drake Maye versus Matthew Stafford MVP run, unless Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes or, again, somebody shocks everything. Drake Maye, they ended up beating the Bucs this week, which was actually an impressive game. It's good for them to get a win like that because, honestly, the Pats don't have a lot of other difficult teams to play this year. In that game, Drake Maye passed for 270 yards and 2 touchdowns. Maye's stats this year: 71% completion percentage, over 2,500 yards passing, and 19 touchdowns.
It's pretty good. It's really good.
What's really important for them is these are narratives. So you win MVP based off of a narrative. Drake Maye, young, flashy, fun quarterback, second year. His team might be a top 2 seed. He might break the completion percentage record this year, which was previously held by Kirk Cousins. I don't know it off the top of my head, but there's a real chance that he could break it if he continues doing well. And they're dying to give this award to a brand new quarterback. I mean, they were so thrilled with themselves to give it to Josh Allen last year. They're thrilled to give it to Lamar Jackson. Now we got to mint a new person, even though it's a Patriots quarterback, which makes me want to throw up that they have not had more of a gap in their life of that.
They're sending it back to New England. Why not?
Yeah, why not? Why wouldn't you?
Where else could it go? One other person.
To Matt Stafford, man.
Yeah, he's slinging it.
Very exciting. He actually has a 50-50 winning record now. So things were so bad in Detroit for so long that it's taken him pretty much all these Rams years to finally get to a 50-50 winning record.
That's
incredible
wild.
Stuff. Incredible stuff.
You know what popped up on my algorithm today? Kelvin Johnson in Stafford stats when he went off for that game, 14 catches, 326 yards, and 1 touchdown against Dallas. The dude was a monster, and Stafford was just like, hey, I'm going to throw it to you, and you're just going to go get it. It was unreal.
And the Detroit Lions tried to kill them both.
Yes.
So anyway, Stafford and the Rams, they got their revenge over the 49ers, which that was a game earlier this year that the 49ers ended up winning. Stafford's stats this season, 67% completion percentage, over 2,400 yards passing, and 25 touchdowns. So touchdown-wise, Stafford has been lighting it up the last couple weeks. Those touchdowns are pretty inflated. I think he's got probably 10 touchdowns in the last 3 weeks. Obviously, he's got a really great supporting cast around him. He's got, obviously, a much better play caller. And this could be a Matt Ryan in 2016 situation where they say, all right, you are the old dog. You're going to be a top one. You're probably going to be the top overall seed at the second seed. We'll throw you a bone here. Honestly, some pretty lame MVP cases. There's just nobody pulling ahead. There's no ultra dominant team. There's nothing that surprising or shocking to me. So whoever ends up winning, I wouldn't be all that surprised.
All right. Well, there you go. There's your quick hitters this week. MVP talk. Let's get into last week's pool. 41 entries survived. That's 68% of the picks. 19 entries have been eliminated. 23 people picked the Panthers. Broncos had 11 people pick on that atrocious Thursday night football game. 9 people had the Seahawks. 5 people had the Lions. 4 people had the Bears. They all won. The Browns and the Bills lost. That knocked out 5 people. Don't know if it was total knockout or just one loss. Who knows? Colts and the Patriots were the other 2 teams that people had last week. So, yeah, Panthers screwed a lot of people. And Broncos actually got lucky, too, even though that game was so freaking bad.
Yeah, I feel like everybody needs to have a reevaluation of their Broncos stock and maybe make some more realistic outcomes for what that team is going to do. As in, if they play the Colts, I think they're going to get beat by 4 touchdowns in the first round. Like, I have no faith in the Broncos to do well.
Danielle did mention to me today when she was looking, because she's still surviving with 1 pick left, and she looks at me, she's like, are the Broncos good? And I'm like, no. Where their record is. I'm like, well, yeah, record and good don't mean the exact same thing, but that's okay. Let's get into this week's matchups. Today, Jets, Patriots. We have the Commanders and Dolphins heading over to Spain. That's an 8:30 a.m. game. Don't bother getting up for that one. You Commanders fans, stay asleep. Packers, Giants, Texans, Titans, Panthers, Falcons, Bears, Vikings. Give me 2 words on that Bears-Vikings matchup, Matt.
Anything else?
Nice. Chargers, Jags, Bucks, Bills, Bengals, Steelers, 49ers, Cardinals, Seahawks, Rams, Chiefs, Broncos, Ravens, Browns, Lions, Eagles, and the Cowboys and the Raiders on Monday Night Football that some of us won't be able to watch still, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Matt, let's do it. Who are we picking? Who are we staying away from? And who are we on the fence with? Start wherever you want, my man. It's just me and you tonight. You can take our opinion, or you can say, you guys suck. You've been out for 4 weeks, and do what you want. But where are we at?
Well, let's start with who I'm on the fence with, because I kind of want to have a conversation about this.
Yeah.
And maybe this will be very helpful for some other people that are making their decisions.
Okay.
I.e. Trevor.
Yeah.
So I'm on the fence with the Ravens over the Browns. So Browns lost to the Jets. Yes. However, you should, if people did not watch the Ravens-Vikings game, you should not have a lot of faith in that team. I understand the Ravens won. It was a terrible, terrible game. They won 3 games in a row. They blew out the Dolphins. I get it. This Ravens team is a complete shell of itself. I am concerned. The Browns defense is still ranked one of the best in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
They are still one of the best. This is an interdivision game. I would like to think the Ravens are back. I would like to think the Ravens have got this one in the bag. Lamar's not going to have any problems. But I'm hesitant. I'm hesitant, and I think a lot of people are going to be picking them.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I have them elsewhere in this category of picking who we're staying away from and on the fence with, but I'm going to go with the Houston Texans and Tennessee Titans. I'm on the fence with it. Don't stay away from it. I'm on the fence with it. Here's my thoughts there. And you can chime in and say whatever you want. Tennessee Titans are obviously struggling. Houston's a favorite at -7 on the road. You know how the Panthers are probably some people's team this year now? Bengals were our team last year. Tennessee Titans are my team still. You don't know what they're going to do. I honestly think they might pick up their second win at home against the Texans. That game's going to be uglier than uglier. The Titans did me dirty once, beating the Cardinals. Even though they're a 75% favorite, I would be a little hesitant jumping on the Texans this week. But hey, if you need to go with them, it's not a horrible pick. What do you think?
You would think that with the quality of the Houston Texans defense, they would be able to handle the very, very bad Tennessee Titans. But I completely understand your hesitation, and I completely agree. This Texans team is going to be wishy-washy and sweating it out to a loss to end your survive this pool. I can't advise it. I can't advise it.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. Do you want to go with who we're picking or who you staying away from?
Let's go with who we're picking this week.
All right, who are you picking?
I mentioned last week on the pod that the Patriots have a lot of games upcoming that you can choose from that are going to be quite bad, including 2 Jets games. For this week, I'm going to go with the Pats over the Jets. I don't think Justin Fields is going to crack 100 yards passing. The Jets defense is going to be awful. I think if there was a way that you could bet the Pats win this by 3 touchdowns, you should book it. Drake Maye builds onto his MVP case, gets a little bit closer, gets the people talking a little bit more. I think the Pats blow them out.
All right. I'm going, well, not me personally, but if you have the Cowboys available over the Raiders, I think that is a pretty good pick. The Raiders look absolutely atrocious last week. The Cowboys actually have somewhat of a head on their shoulders. It is a Monday Night Football game. I will not be watching it for a few reasons. One, the Raiders are absolutely horrible and it's just boring TV. Plus, YouTube TV is still not allowing me to get ESPN. So keep it off. Pick them. You should be moving on to next week.
And we should also mention that Trevor is picking the Ravens this week.
Who are you staying away from, Matt? We have 2 different teams as well for you and I here.
Well, I feel like you should go first because I think this is a pod first of one of us has an on the fence, one of us has the teams and the stay away, and one of us is picking the team.
Yeah. I'm going to go with stay away from that Baltimore Browns game. And Matt kind of hit it on the head. The Ravens did not look good against the Vikings. The Browns have a very good defense. Yes, they lost to the Jets last week. But again, they're at home. It's a divisional game. They're going to be fired up. You never know with these divisional games what's going to happen. Plus, the Ravens matchups in the future, Week 12 and Week 13, they're playing the Jets and then they're playing the Bengals. So if you can, I think you wait, stay away from this one, even though it's going to be pretty enticing. What do you think?
I'm right there with you.
Yeah,
I'm right there with you. And I just don't know. I have a lot of trust issues. I have a lot of trust issues this NFL season with a lot of teams.
You and I
and
would.
The Ravens are definitely up.
We
there.
should, Matt. We should have trust issues.
We should.
Who are you staying away from?
I think you got to stay away from the Steelers over the Bengals. Bengals beat them a couple weeks ago. I don't know how much of that Sunday night game you caught, but I think the Aaron Rodgers experience is over. The Chargers absolutely beat the crap out of the Steelers. The Steelers are pretty close to my on the fence team, but I just can't do it. I think this is over for the Steelers. They're still going to be 9-8 to end the season and barely limp into a playoffs where they get the absolute crap kicked out of them. Whatever. I just don't think don't play with it. Don't play with it. I know people are going to say Joe Burrow is coming off IR and he's practicing again, and the Bengals are going to be back to a team that you don't really want to go up against, and this is maybe your last opportunity to go against Joe Flacco. Just don't do it. Just stay away. It's not worth it. The Steelers are not worth it.
Not worth it. It's all right. Aaron Rodgers is going to be overseas again in about 8 weeks, whenever the NFL season's over, or if not a little bit longer. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I do appreciate it. Matt, it's coming down to the wire. When people lose, people are getting eliminated now. So we could have some very interesting things happen over the next 4 or 5 weeks when it comes down to it. So week 10, last week, coming up on week 11. That's all our input. Listen if you would like. We do really appreciate you guys listening, sharing the podcast, talking about the podcast. It was great to have Kenny on last week. It actually did our quickest numbers, download and listen-wise. So, hey, congratulations to Kenny. You helped us out better than Penn State and better than the Giants. So, thanks for tuning in. We do appreciate it. We will see you guys next week. Peace.